Welcome everyone to a brand new video. Today we are going to be painting a loose wildflower mountain scene with gouache, and I'm going to lead you through the steps I do to paint this painting. So first I'm taking some ultramarine blue and some white to make it lighter. Then I am taking a light wash of purple and putting it at the bottom, blending that out for the sky. And there's going to be a moon in this picture, so I leave a little spot for that. And then I am taking some scarlet gouache. It's a little bit watered down so it's not so potent, and while it's still wet I'm making streaks across the sky to make it look like a sunset with some clouds. And then I'm taking a more concentrated version of ultramarine blue and putting it at the very top of the sky and blending it downward. And then with those scarlet clouds, I'm taking some yellow mixed with some orange and some white, and I'm making that look a little bit more like a sunset with some variation in colors. I fill in the moon with some white and some blue and put a little bit of rings around it. And then I work on the mountains in the background. And then I'm taking some blue and a little bit of green mixed with that blue and filling in the mountains in the back. And then I take some black, some blue, and mix it together, and I'm putting a little bit of that against the mountains to make it look like there's trees in the background. The next thing you're going to want to do is put a thin wash of water. Mine's a little bit blue, but that won't affect it too much. And then I am taking sap. Then I am taking spring green. I'm varying the consistency. I'm just looking at the reference and I'm kind of noting where the big spots of green are. And then I'm taking some evergreen mixed with some black to make a darker forest green. I'm just blotching that around to make variation in the shadows and the green, so it's not just one color of green. And then I'm taking some scarlet, and this is all pretty watered down because it's very vibrant, and with the wash of water we laid down, this will all flow and mix in, like you can see here how it's kind of blending and moving. And we don't want to over mix this. We don't want to blend the colors because the green and the scarlet will create muddiness, of course. So we're just putting it down wherever we see it or want to put it down, and we're putting it down wherever there is flowers or color we want and just letting it be. I also add some variation by adding some white with the scarlet to make it lighter and make it seem like there's lighter flowers. And then I am taking different shades of dark green and almost like black, almost, but it's not quite. And I'm just doing different variations of that and making the trees. Later I do add some more spring green to the front of the trees and to make it look like there's background trees and closer trees. And to actually paint the trees, I usually first do a thin line, and then I start at the top with small strokes, and then I widen and increase the strokes at the bottom. And this is real time of me painting the trees. I just dab my paintbrush in kind of like an arc downward, meeting the line that I put down. Then I add 2 trees on the right hand side there you see, and just putting a little bit of different greens on it to make it look like there's shadows. Then once the field is dry, I'm going in and I'm dabbing darker variations of the flower color down. I'm making it look like there's individual flowers by dabbing it. Like, it doesn't really matter where you put it. I'm blending it a little bit, just adding texture with it, not covering up all the blotches I put down. And I'm taking my brush also and just like kind of dabbing it instead of putting it on with the tip of the brush. I'm spreading it around a little bit and just dabbing it. And then I'm taking some yellow, putting that down. It just looks really nice against the green and with the scarlet. So in this portion, we're really just working on the flower field, putting different shades of yellow and kind of mixing the scarlet and the yellow together. And I do add some more green down to make it look like there are stems from the flowers, to make it look more like a field. It's loose. It's a loose flower field, so don't stress too much about where to put it, or just use your instincts and just have fun. I also wanted to talk about painting nature scenes because they can be daunting, and maybe they daunt you. And I think this gouache painting and how it is loose and there's not a lot of detail is perfect for you if you struggle with nature scenes and the details, because it is relatively simple. There's not a lot of detail, and it's perfect because it gets you warmed up with the looseness of it and putting down colors with the layer of water and letting them blend and go where they want to go. That might make you anxious because you don't want it to get muddy, but if you go slow and be intentional about where you put it, I think you'll have a great time and really enjoy this painting. And next, as I was saying, I added some more trees with the spring green. And then I'm going in with some white gouache to make some white flowers. And I do go in with a lighter blue. I mostly do the blue flowers around the base of the painting. And I might have gone a little bit too much with the dots of green I put in between the splotches of flowers. I wanted to make it look like more individual flowers instead of just big clusters of them, if that makes sense. I might have made it a bit too busy. Anyway, I put it down, is what it is. And then I did put a little bit of lighter yellow on some of the flowers, on some of the yellow flowers. And I do add that yellow to the sky. And part of it I didn't film. I add a thin line or outline of yellow on the mountains, as you can see, just to look like it's a sunset or sunrise, whatever you want it to be. I do outline the mountains a little bit with a darker blue to make it more detailed, because it was just looking kind of stagnant and without any details. So I did do a little bit of that. And yeah, I signed it, and that is the end of the video, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you were able to do this painting with me. Please let me know if you enjoyed it. There are a lot more pages to fill, so I hope you come along on the journey of filling them with me. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you, as always, in the next video. Bye, everyone.